welcome to the very last chapter of Aurella the Witch. I don't have a very specific thinking question, just what did you think about the story? And we are going to get started. All right, Epilogue. They were unprepared for the heat. They traveled for days and days, and the sun seemed to burn brighter and more angry with each step. The forest thinned out until there were no trees in sight. There was nothing but dry, cracked dirt in every direction. The parched, eerie surroundings reflecting how Mavic and Aurella felt inside. The sky offered no hope for even a hint of rain. The few plants they encountered were brown and yellow, and some even tumbled away when a rare hot breeze blew. Aurella had a moment of déjà vu when she saw several of the cacti she'd seen in front of Taytautic's house. Had he wandered in this desert before? After 5 days, they were running dangerously low on water. Aurella began to fear they would never find their destination. Maybe Dovis wasn't so bad after all. They were also so saddle-sore, they decided to put all their supplies on one horse and took turns riding the second horse. "How far do you think it is?" Aurella asked, leaning forward to rest on her horse's neck.
"I have no idea. We don't even have a map. For all we know, it isn't even there, and all those witches who fled to Rashtika died."
Aurella frowned and sat up on her horse. "Well, someone's cheery."
"Sorry, Ella. Guess I'm just a little tired."
"Well, here, take the horse."
"No way. My crotch has requested that I never ride a horse again."
"Ew, don't talk about your crotch."
"When something's screaming at you, you gotta listen."
"Okay, we're done talking about this." Mavic's immature chuckle quickly turned into a dry cough. They slept on the hot sand each night and tied their horses to their waists since there was no trees in sight, only those scary-looking cacti. One night, Aurella asked, "Mavic, what's wrong with me?" The moon gave his profile a ghostly glow.
"Nothing's wrong with you. Don't worry about it. There's probably plenty of people like you."
"Really?"
"Yeah, I mean, you're not the only 12-year-old twerp who smells like a homeless person."
There are multiple things wrong with that sentence. And the sad thing is, technically we are homeless at this point."
"Pretty much."
"And am I 12?
"Last I checked."
"What's the date? I think my birthday passed. I think I'm 13.
"Congratulations, teenager."
A cricket chirped in the distance, and a tiny cloud drifted across the moon. Aurella watched it slowly pass over it. "You didn't answer my question. Do you think maybe it's because both my parents were manipulators, so I got some traits from both?"
"No, definitely not. That would mean there are a ton of little Aurellas running around Rashtika. It doesn't work that way. If you're a girl with a witch for a mother, you're a witch. If you're a boy with a warlock for a dad, you're a warlock. The genes don't combine."
Mavic's voice got raspy toward the end of his explanation. He coughed into his arm and cleared his throat.
"I've read a bunch of Rashtikan books, Ella. I've never heard of something as weird as you."
"Gee, thanks."
"No problem."
On the 12th day, they ran out of food. All they had left were a few sips of water, and neither of them wanted to use it up until it was necessary. But that point had been reached at least 2 days ago. They abandoned the one-horse rule, and each sat exhausted on their horses. On they rode in the sweltering heat of the desert between two worlds.
"Ella, wake up!"
She heard the warning too late. She'd fallen asleep on her horse and opened her eyes just in time to see the ground rush up to meet her face. If that wasn't enough, one of her feet got stuck in the stirrup, and the horse kept walking, dragging her along with it. She cried out in pain as her ankle twisted in unnatural ways. "Stop walking, you stupid horse!" she cried. Mavic swiftly jumped off his horse and in front of hers. After stopping the horse, he rushed over to Aurella's poor foot and delicately disengaged it from the stirrup. She began to sit up, but Mavic pushed her back down.
"Hang on there. Just take it easy. Let's make sure you're not hurt."
"I'm fine," she rasped.
You don't sound fine.
Well, you don't look fine.
What are you talking about? I'm as fine as they come.
Ha ha, she coughed.
Here, drink this.
He handed her the water canteen. No, we have to save it.
Just drink it, Ella.
No, let's just go. Here, help me up. Scowling, he helped Aurella to her feet.
You are so stubborn.
Takes one to know one. Mavic stiffened and pushed Aurella behind him.
Ella, do you hear that?
What?
Maybe I'm just going crazy, but I swear I just heard.
He shook his head.
Never mind.
I don't hear any. The horses spooked and dashed away, and before either of them could react, Mavic cried out in pain. They looked down to discover that a snake had sunk its teeth into his ankle. In his fury, Mavic used a powerful gust of wind to blow the snake up into the air and as far away from them as possible. Then, sitting down, he examined his ankle. He tried to put on a brave face, but Aurella could tell that it was serious. He started breathing strangely and sweating. Crap, Mavic, tell me what to do and I'll heal you.
I don't know how to heal a snake bite. I never read those parts of the book because I never thought I'd see a snake. I know it's more complicated than a stab because you have to extricate the poison. I have no idea how to do that, and it's already spreading.
At least drink the water.
No, Ella, that's for you.
Fine, I'll just get some more water.
How do you expect to do that?
Aurella closed her eyes and started muttering in the language of the witches.
Ella, I don't know what you're trying to do, but don't do it.
She ignored him and held the water canteen close to the dirt. Suddenly, water spouted from the ground and into the canteen. She capped the canteen and fell onto her back in exhaustion. Mavic shook his head.
That was so stupid.
Shut up. You're sick and I got you water. Now drink it. She threw him the canteen and he drank thirstily, then poured a little on his snakebite.
There, I drank some. Now your turn.
Aurella could barely speak above a whisper. You keep it. I'm too tired to move. Mavic crawled over and poured some water down her throat. Aurella gazed up at him in defeat. Is this how we're gonna die?
Are you kidding me? After all we've been through? No way. I've got an idea.
He started signing with his hands, but groaned and gave up. What are you trying to do? Aurella asked.
I need to get that paper boat so I can send it to Morella's friends for help. I just don't think I have enough energy to get it back here.
Why don't I just bring the horses back?
Because I'm sure you're also out of energy, and I don't want you to hurt yourself.
Let's just both focus on bringing the satchel back with the boat in it. Maybe if we both do it, it'll be easier. If Aurella wasn't dehydrated, exhausted, in pain, and on the brink of starvation, she might have laughed at how freaky they probably looked. Mavic making weird hand signals and she muttering creepily under her breath. Finally, the satchel flew through the air and landed with a plop right between them. By then, Mavic's ankle was an angry color of red and swelling up like a balloon. He ignored the pain and dug through the satchel. He found the boat, and before sending it off, scribbled a quick plea for help on the opposite side. Then, with great difficulty, he sent it off to Helena and Rick. Unbeknownst to him, Aurella was lending him strength by pitching in as well. Then, Mavic let his exhaustion bring him back to the ground. All that was left in the world was heat and bright and dry and pain. Their sunburned skin reddened and peeled. Their lips cracked and bled. Mavic looked green, and his ankle looked irreversibly infected. His breaths came in groans, and he gave up trying to mask the pain.
I think I'd rather get stabbed to death. At least then it would have been faster.
Stop talking, Mavic. You're wasting energy. They laid there for what felt like an eternity in the sweltering sand, with nothing but an empty canteen of water. Sleep overtook Aurella, and she dreamed of a small paper bird flapping its wings over her head. The bird circled them like a vulture until, diving into the sand, Aurella slapped herself, realizing this wasn't a dream. She reached out, took the paper bird in her hands, and unfolded it. The sun blinded her eyes momentarily as she held the paper up to read it. When her sight returned, she saw there was writing on the wing in large, bold letters. "Stay where you are. We are coming." That is the end of the book. Thank you for joining in and going through the whole thing with me. Sorry we end on a little bit of a cliffhanger there, but if you want to know what happens next, you have to read Aurella the Sorceress. That's the book that comes after this. If you want to share your thoughts about the book as a whole, I would love to hear them. How did you like it? What did you like? What did you not like? What do you want to see in book 2? And thanks again for joining in on this story time. Bye!